Remember when I said rewards are supposed to be permanently available in Reclamation Algorithm? It's not going anywhere. There aren't any FOMO rewards as far as I know with this mode, and so it's going to be here to stay, and you can kind of take your time and enjoy all the other content that Arknights has to offer. Well, okay, so it's past Christmas, the event period is already more than halfway over, and you haven't played RecAlg in like the longest time or ever, and so now you're scrambling for points because maybe you missed a daily or two while you were caught up in the Christmas rush. Totally not speaking from experience here. This guide is for you. First off, how does this even all work? Well, as you can see here from the little meter, they've got a little point system going here, and to get points, you do the missions. The missions are located here. On this screen, and you can get points for doing your dailies, but if you've missed a few days or just otherwise need some more points, you're going to need to tap into some of those missions that involve Reclamation Algorithm. Otherwise, you can just get it normally by spending sanity, doing very perfectly normal Arknights things. But if you're like me and you missed a few days over the holidays, you're going to end up having to play Reclamation Algorithm here. And so what do they actually have you do? Survive for several days, easy enough. So complete some zones, those will be very easy too. And craft some support items or constructs, we'll be doing that too. What I'm going to be showing you guys in this video is a very simple 3-day loop that you can do at basically any stage of the game, depending on what is and isn't available to you and how strong your operators are. As far as the slug races and feral strange territories, you're going to have the prerequisite unlocks to do so. The slug races are a little easy. The feral strange territory, this might take a little bit of getting used to. I'd go to other channels for that since I'm not going to cover that in this video. First thing you want to do is on the title screen. So what you want to do is click this circular button here with the 3 triangles if that's what it looks like to you. This is going to change the difficulty. You'll notice that Strange Territory and Critical Contentions will always be on Challenge Mode difficulty, but you can switch modes freely for everything else without altering the Prosperity Points, which is the shop currency for the permanent shop. So you might as well be making progress on there a little bit easier. Go ahead and switch to Peaceful Mode. This is going to deactivate all of the difficulty modifiers that Challenge Mode has, and it's also going to turn off randomly generated raids because if you are spending time defending against raids, you are spending time not gathering resources, and we want every single day to be useful. Right, so once you're past the tutorial, this is going to be the map screen. This is where you'll be spending most of your time. My map screen is going to look different from yours just because I have actually played this game mode and it is quite fun for me. I get that it's not everyone's cup of tea. What you want to pay attention to is this day counter here in the upper right. So this denotes how many actions you have per day, and what I'm going to show you here is a 3-day cycle. Normally I play all of this on stream, and if you want to see what my early game days were like, you can check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/DrSocrates, and my entire playthrough from day 1 to day 172 is going to be in there, in the VODs. There's a collection playlist there, and I am working on getting it to YouTube as well, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I have a lot of things to do. But anyways, we're going to start with day 172 here. This is the day of my latest save, and if you didn't know this already, Reclamation Algorithm has save states that you can load whenever you want, so you can go turn back time as if nothing happened here, and you can still get the rewards from playing. And that's exactly what we're going to do. If you're just starting out, you probably don't have access to a lot of the map nodes that are worth a lot more points, and so what you're going to be doing is going to be centralized to this region of the map. What you want to do is wait until you have enough food to get your operators out on important missions, and then use those deployed operators to get resources. So for example, this resource has wood and a little bit of food on it, but mainly wood. And then you can preview the map here, and the main thing to note in RecAlg is that the early game is rough. If you want something, you're going to have to build it up from scratch. If you want extra deployment limit, you're going to have to build the structures inside of your HQ, which HQ level is everything. This is going to get you more multipliers for points if you're aiming for that. But for the purposes of our quests here, all you need to do is clear nodes and craft resources, or craft with the resources that you get. You can get resources very easily using these dialogue nodes, so we'll go ahead and take one here for the sake of example. These chat ones only consume one of your act points and usually result in some sort of randomized resource drop. So in this case, we're just going to be getting stone just for free, just for consuming our act points, and we can use that stone for crafting. You can read the flavor text if you want, but this is a great way to spend some of your early action points if you have that option available to you. Otherwise, what you're going to be end up doing is waiting for your planter boxes to produce wheat so that you can get your operators out on the field on a food map. So let's go to that one of those now. We're going to Gathering of Feathers, which is basically the Foul Beast map. These Foul Beasts can be easy to hunt, but you need to know what to take. So in this case, we've got 7 Foul Beasts on the map, and then I think it's 6 wood per tile, and so 3 tiles of wood on this map. If you have weaker operators, so be it. Try to mimic as much of my strategy as you can, and I'm also going to be taking note of the zone upgrades that I have here and how that'll be different for you. So let's build a squad. Obviously, I've got a pretty cracked squad here, but let's pretend that I have less in the chamber here. What do I want to take? You want to take snipers, because Foul Beasts are airborne. So we'll go ahead and take May here, Exu, Arketo. Very wide range snipers are very good for line of sight and just range coverage here, so Tifon is a great example of a power pick here, as well as the artillery snipers. April's also a good pocket pick as well here. I like Meteorite as well. We will still need DP, of course, so bring your favorites. Myrtle is always a great choice. You can take flag pipe strategies if you want, or you can just take a Pioneer and just set it and forget it. If there are any weather effects in the region, there shouldn't be if you're just starting out. Definitely remember to take a medic or 2 with you. So again, high range medics are very nice. In fact, Ayafula here can take her skill 3, and that's going to be a very, very useful skill to have on global range as well. Lastly, you might want to take some fast redeploy operators if you need them to soak damage or take out some threats. Being flexible is the name of the game here in Reclamation Algorithm, and so we'll indulge ourselves a little bit with a meta power pick here in the form of Texas Altar. That's our squad. As you can see, it is 3 energy drinks to deploy. You're going to be getting the trickle of resources very slowly at first, and so it's going to cost you like 2 energy drinks for a 6 operator squad, and then 3 for a 12 operator squad. That costs 4 wheat in total, or I guess rice as the game calls it. So manage your resources carefully. Don't over deploy if you can manage it. You're not going to have a lot of food to throw around here to begin with. Also worth noting is that I am playing with a lot of buffs here. If you're in the late game and you just need to get this out of the way, then you might as well use what you got if you have it. This is stuff that you should be working towards. So as you can see, I still need 1 more here, so I will add in enough for a little bit more. I had a little bit of juice left in the tank here, so that kind of rolled over. And we'll just start. As we load into the map, again, I am playing with a lot of different buffs. I have a full tech tree researched, and so if you're just starting out, there's a lot of upgrades that you can look forward to getting in the future, but you're going to have to fight your way out of the early game, so to speak here, and it's not pretty. As you can see, we've got a watchtower here, and we've got the sandstorm in play. This is what I was talking about with the weather, but we've got plenty of foul beasts on the field. And so the gimmick with these guys is that when they take damage, they'll go invulnerable for a few seconds or something like that, and then afterwards they'll come back and be vulnerable for a few seconds. So you just want to start tagging them with snipers. Really, you can throw this down here and watch the weather, of course. My snipers my units get a shield because of some of the artifacts that I've been finding over time, so that's always nice. We can go throw down Exia over here and start tapping away at this. And obviously they're taking damage, so if you are in a lesser state than I am right now, definitely take your medics here. In fact, I'm going to lay down Ayafala here for support so that she can take care of business. And then, yeah, just kind of set up your defenses, really. Go ahead and lay down Myrtle first. We probably should have done that. To begin with. Flametail will provide us with some good DP as well. And again, if you've played the tutorial, you'll know by now that these things have a time limit, right? This is tower offense, not tower defense. If you have the resources to spare, you could, of course, bring your own high ground and place it here to go make hunting a little bit more effective, but I don't, so I'm just not going to do that. I'm going to have Tifon cover this area here, and it looks like she's going to be able to just barely tag the foul beast over here as they cross over into the tile. But yeah, they'll just kind of chill there, and I mean, honestly, like, this is all you really need to do is to find a good spot and have good map coverage, because they will roam the map if you pay attention. So if you lay down April here, we can cover the migration paths of these foul beasts. I've seen them like spawn over here on the left, and then, like, you know, over here on the right. And yeah, you just kind of make sure that you get some good licks in while they're suppressed, and if you want to indulge yourself, go ahead and throw down some Texas alternate action on there as well. No shame in doing so if you've got her. Anyways, keep track of the amount of foul beasts that you've hunted. We've hunted about 5, it seems, now 6, which means there was 7 total on the map, which means there's 1 more spawning in, and they should come eventually. And if not, then, you know, oh, there's the last one. There we go. So that's all 7 foul beasts total. And honestly, I could just leave now. I'm not here for the wood. If you can't get it on your first try, you can come back for any resources that you've missed. But generally speaking, you want to make sure that what you're doing is something worthwhile here. You don't want to just like throw your operators out, because that's wasting food, and you don't want to waste that here in Rec Alg, at least not in the early game. As you can see, also the wood here was also like kind of whittled down, so if you see those bonus resources, you can go for it if you want. Personally, I'm just gonna grab that one and leave, and then if you just want to leave now, you can just leave now. Leave early, that's fine. And with that, we get all 7 of our foul beast wings, which is worth a lot more food than the wheat is. And so if we go to our provisions, we go to energy drink crafting here, we have 7 of those. Obviously, if you have less, you'll get less, but that's worth 3 energy drinks here. So we came out slightly on top of that. It's going to be like sort of a dead even when you first start out, and especially when you don't have a lot of the upgrades here as well. But that's the nice thing, is that it can't get any worse. It's only going to get better from here. You just have to grind it out, which I wish I didn't have to say that, but it is what it is. You know, enjoy the grind. If we look inside our base here, another thing I will say is, if you want to like not just repeat the first few days over and over again and, like, you know, get some substance out of it, prioritize planting your planter boxes first. These are the backbone of your economy, no matter what. And so once you are able to gather wood to craft into water pumps and get these, then you should absolutely craft those and upgrade your headquarters as much as you can. Not that one, that's the loot mark. Here is the headquarters right here. And then eventually you'll be gaining access to alternate sources of food, and you can fund your war efforts that way. So this day is now complete, so the hunting zone is now exhausted. We are exhausted this encounter node, so we're just going to advance the day. And we're going to use the other 2 days to get as many resources as we can to do some crafting at the end of the cycle. Looks like we have a little announcement here, since I am playing this off stream, but we will get to that eventually. Anyways, if you are just starting out, you won't have you know, all of the maps and available to choose here. So what you want to do is just kind of pick what's available to you. If you can work towards these encounter nodes, right? So if you just kind of like pick these maps and then just reveal whatever is behind them, that'll be good for you, since you can unlock some food-free resources here. You can just kind of under-deploy and you know, get what you can get if you can. Also, by now, since the day reset, all of the operator availability resets too, so I can deploy my squad out once again if I really wanted to. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just clear that out. And I am going to bring a very light squad to just kind of demonstrate what can be the situation you find yourself in. So let's take Flametail, let's take you know, probably a May, and this is a resource map. We're not hunting this time around, so we've got wood on the field. I'm actually gonna take Highmore. This is one of the welfare units you can get from Integrated Strategies if you've played a little bit of that. We will take a fast redeploy operator, so gravel is up for grabs here. We can take a defender. Why not? We'll take Gummy. And I think we will round this out with a medic. Silence will do. Silence is actually pretty good in this mode, especially because of a drone. Now, let's say we want to only field those 6 operators. That'll cost us less food and is more efficient, but we might have to, deal with the fact that we have less people to do stuff with, and so we will verily do that here. And don't be concerned if you don't get all the resources going into these maps. They are designed to be only full cleared when you have better resources later to send out drone hubs, for example, that will collect all the trees and attack them down within range, so that you don't have to like constantly send out a fast redeploy operator like good old gravel here. The trees on this map, you can tell whether or not they've spawned if the tiles are deployable with melee operators or not. So if we go over here, I think this is a good spot for Highmore. And she's just going to kind of do her thing here. Unfortunately, she is on the brunt end of the sandstorm in the area, so that kind of sucks. I'm not going to sweat it too much. Do be aware of the things that go bump in the night here. They are going to spawn some units for patrols every once in a while, so it's not just a matter of we'll just set it and forget it here. You will want to pay attention. And medics are still good to provide vision, so if you wanted to like go for this goodie bush here to get some of the food enhancement herbs, you can do that. I'm just going to gather up as much wood as I can in this period here. This should be coming off soon, so we can deploy gravel to grab some of the wood. And you can keep track of how much stuff that you've gained in this toolbox. A note though is that if your operators are still carrying resources and they haven't been retreated yet, then they will not contribute to the total that you see here. It's only when you retreat them that they will add to that little total there. And as expected here come the patrols. They're going to attack this little structure first before they even get remotely close to May's attack range, but we'll just deal with that. As you might imagine, the early game is rough. Even with my, squad upgrades and HQ upgrades, I'm still barely making a dent here, but just use what you got, really. As long as you kind of understand what you're supposed to be doing and what you can manage to do, you'll still scrape by with a few resources to start snowballing things. And remember that there is a persistent upgrade system in this, so the more points you gain, the more tech tree nodes you unlock, and so things will get progressively easier over time as you progress both in the main game and in your Recalg campaign. And if you feel like a campaign is truly lost, you can reset and you'll still retain all of the tech points that you have accumulated over time. It's just that you'll still have to play through Recalg and unlock things as they become available. So you'll still have to get your HQ levels and whatnot. Looks like that patrol finally took out May here. Unfortunate, but we should be able to get one more piece of wood thanks to her handiwork here. Wood gravel, picking that right back up. And there we go. That's a run of this map complete. Now, you can come back to the map here. We only got 11 of the wood here, but we did have some wood available for harvest. You can come back with a second squad, just use more food and then, have them investigate that and do the cleanup work, because it is persistent. You can see there's still 49 out of 60 here, and that'll be that'll be there for you tomorrow if you so choose. Now, let's use that wood that we got, right, for a little bit of water, right? So we got 10 wood, we can build 1 pump with that. And so we'll grab that because we need points from crafting, right? And also we need to craft things for the mission. And we also need, water for crafting other things like build out constructs here, namely the ones that the little roadblocks that block things here. Eventually you'll be able to mine stone too, but that's kind of a luxury resource. But you also need water for other things too, like making buff foods. We can get that here on this map. It's another hunting zone. But since we're going to be doing 2 maps in one day, the operators for this squad is unavailable for the deployment here. So we will make do and draft another team. Real quick up front, Reclamation Algorithm, you need a good, like, well-rounded roster to really get the most out of everything here. It's really it is really hard to even get some of the available buffs and upgrades that you can get to make all of your actual active operators really cracked out here. So just be patient with the mode. That's the best advice that I have for, especially if you're just like fresh out of 3-8 and you're like, what the heck do I do here? This game is really meant to have a better roster at your disposal. And so this is something that you should come back to every once in a while to see just how powerful you've gotten over your Arknights story. Or if you've just pulled a really good unit and you want to see how powerful they can get, that's a really good way to give them a whirl here, especially with the conditions being so different. For this example here, let's pick out a good squad for hunting here. Let's bring out some of the rare favorites here. I like Ethan and Manticore for map control, and you'll see why once I draft this squad here. I think we can forego the Vanguard, or the Flag Vanguard, in favor of one of my favorite Vanguards, actually. I always lose track of him. Here he is, Puzzle. Ancient Vanguards are very flexible in this mode, and I very much appreciate their utility in this. Let me just remember. Oh, we've got really bad weather today. That's quite all right. Let's play this as if I don't have all the other good stuff available for me. If you try to enter without crafting, then you'll be prompted. Let's use those Foul Beast wings, shall we? We had 7 of them. We might as well just commit that now to energy drinks and keep the war machine rolling. You should be getting a little bit of wheat from the planter boxes every single day, every single time the day rolls over too. So that should help to, staunch the flow, so to speak. Right. So now we have more hunting here, and we've got the Lepori beasts. These guys like run away when they get hit, and so you want a combination of fast redeploying operators and operators with good area coverage so that you can just kind of corral them into like a generously sized area. So I'll lay down my ambushers here in the center, and they should have a nice time of things. And you can kind of tell like what's what by looking for the silhouettes here. Sometimes they're in the air, sometimes they're on the ground. It really depends. We'll go ahead and slap this one silly and retreat. And sometimes, they'll just wander into ambushers while you're not even looking. There's a good example of one there. Unfortunately, just outside of range there, but, we're not fretting. If we want to reduce the distractions here, we can, of course, set up Meteor to take care of the enemies here, but don't expect too much. He's also Sandstorm debuffed, and this guy can attack from range. But what we can do is expose whatever it is he's here, and oh, look at that! They ran into into Manticore. Lovely stuff. We'll have Puzzle already back from deployment. Do a little bit of this, and Ethan should mop up this job. And if we take a look at the resources, that is 4 pieces of meat. I think there's another one here. And since I'm bringing out the low rarity favorites alongside my normal roster here, like you do have to raise quite a bit of different types of operators that you wouldn't otherwise like normally grab from the main game. Ambushers are huge in my opinion. Like they're really useful if you know how if you know why they're useful, right? If you don't know why they're useful, they're just kind of lackluster. You'd rather have like a more traditional like DPS or something. But as you can see here, since we need this area control to be effective here, they come out pretty reliably on top here in terms of good choices, since their attack range and deployability is really nice. Also worth noting is that all of my operators have health regeneration right now, because there is a mechanic called logistics operators where you can use some of your unused operators to provide support for logistics, and if you use medics, that can give you global operator regeneration. So it's not going to heal off everything, but for the minor stuff, should keep your operators topped off and doing their jobs until the map expires, in which case we got all 7 pieces of puffball tenderloins. So, again, you should have the stats for this. I mean, if nothing else, you can at least have Melantha smack them for oodles of damage if you have no better options. And that's day 2 already done. We just need one more day, and then we will complete the cycle. Obviously, I'm getting a lot of... I'm getting a lot more wheat than I normally would here, although it is drought season, and I'm getting less than the planter boxes here. And there are tech tree skills that give it a chance to double the production here as well. So that's kind of important to get once you get your headquarter levels upgraded. So we just did straight into the abyss. This means we would have unlocked this encounter node, so we'll take it, free resources. And then we obtain some stone. Perfect. And then if you've gotten a random raid to spawn by now, that's great too. But I think by now you've probably gotten the gist. You know, go ahead and like do those other maps, and then honestly just reveal the map, reveal the nodes one by one. You don't have to full clear them to reveal what's behind them, unless it is a conflict zone or if it's a mountain pass. Otherwise, you can just kind of like, you know, hop in and dip out if you don't feel like, you know, waiting for the timer to run out. But when you're inside these maps, you might as well try to grab as many things as possible here. So I'm just gonna finish the day to get this video done and over with. And now, before we finish the day, what we want to do is we want to take the resources we have and just craft whatever we want with it. Now, or whatever we want and whatever we can. If you have enough HQ levels, you will have access to one of the most busted ways of farming points in the game, and that is the glow stick, if I can find it here. But the glow stick is basically just like a really, really cheap crafting recipe, and it allows, oh, here it is. It allows you to just gather a lot of points really, really quickly from very easily accessible materials. Wood is, you know, the weakest resource in the game. So craft as many of these bad boys as you humanly can within the 3-day period. And you can obviously do every 3 days, or you could load the previous, save. So I started on day 172. I could have reloaded to day 169 instead, but I'm not going to do that because we have a save point, and I'm just going to hit that right now. And it's going to say, okay, here's your score. If you click on the exclamation point, I never knew this for a while, but it'll score you on what you have been doing. So you survived X amount of days, you did these many acts, you have crafted this many tools. And then, of course, some of your constructs will also give you points for just existing as well. We've got the base multiplier, so raising your base level is important, as I've said, for the permanent exploration. Or the permanence shop, that is. And yeah, all of this will just accumulate over time. There's no going back on this. Again, it just gets easier, and especially when you get more experienced with the game, it's going to be very much a nicer experience. Pay no mind to this for now, but I'm just going to let you know what to do for reloading your save. So you hit load save, and we're going to go back to day 172 like nothing ever happened. I totally did not play this off stream. You saw nothing. And we go back to the start of day 172. I've got some dispatches coming back in, and here's the logistics operator feature that I was talking about. You're going to need to upgrade your base HQ level to unlock that. Start the day off, and if we go back to our rewards, would you look at that? We've got more missions in the bag. So we've already survived a total of 3 days. You don't have to like claim these. These will just get marked off immediately. So if I scroll down to the 3-day mission here, so we've crafted 15, more than 15 support items or constructs. We've completed a total of 6 zones, basically. Well, I guess, yeah, no, 6 zones, and then a total of 3 days. So rinse and repeat. It's just that easy. You don't have to deploy that many operators. You don't even have to gather all the resources if you can't be bothered. Some of these missions are just, you know, basically freebies for you interacting with the system. But while you're there, you might as well get some resources and grab yourself some rewards. If you go into the permanent shop here, they say it only expands. It's never gonna, like, you know, shut your lock out of the shop here. But you can get some pretty nifty stuff, and these all come without the need for sanity, right? So eventually you'll be gain access to Kestrel, which is this mode's welfare operator. Very useful passive for this mode in the sense that every time she uses her skill, the resources that she's carrying, such as wood or stone, get deposited so that she can collect more. And that is very, very useful for certain out-of-the-way resource tiles that you can't be bothered to set up a drone collection hub over. So very much many avenues for getting better at this mode, and hopefully with that little 3-day cycle, you'll have enough in the tank to farm up your missions, get your points, and get started with Reclamation Algorithm, if only just for now, and you can just come back later. Hopefully. I really hope there aren't many more timed or limited stuff for this mode, which, speaking of which, if you look at Contention Reiteration, the only thing that's truly limited is the free prosperity points that you get from performing the mode challenge, because these are like the integrated strategies, like themed run challenges that were released monthly, and then once they're all released, they'll become all available once again, except for the fact that they won't have this shop currency attached to it, but you'll still get the standard rewards for clearing these little base defense challenges. And I'll have a video on those soon. I've been all over the place with video ideas lately, and there's a few of them rattling around in my head, but these do cost me a little bit of time, energy, and forethought into actually planning and recording and editing these together. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully you can get all the rewards that you can manage to get before the time is up. Also, slug racing is peak, and you will not convince me otherwise.